Welcome to Let's Fucking Chat. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Alex. Let's talk about some stuff.
All right, it's a new week. I can't believe this is already episode 11. This is crazy. And this is the last week of April when we release this episode. April has gone by so fast. It's kind of insane.
All the months between 2020 and 2021 have been so fucking fast.
They really have. I feel like though this is a prime example of becoming an adult when your whole life now, when I was like a child, everything went by so slow. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, everything is going by like really fast, and it's like freaking me out.
Yeah, there's like a possible, like I think a theory about that where it's the idea that you basically when you're younger, because you're not used to time, so this is a very layman explanation, but since you're younger and you're not used to time, you experience it a lot longer. But since you're older and you experienced time,
yes,
over the years, it becomes a lot easier to go through the day. So that's an explanation of positive. Yeah.
And sad at the same time.
Yeah, our life is
like
getting
really
shorter.
Depressing.
Yeah.
It is. Just it is though. Like, I could die tomorrow. I don't ever know, because I'll be asleep.
I always
won't wake up.
I always get afraid because something that always scares the thought that scares me is that there's a finite number of art pieces that I can create depending on my art. So let's say that I like music, right? So if I can make a song a month, that's like the amount of songs that I can make between my lifetime. It's too finite for me. I don't like ever being put in a box. And so knowing that I'm going to have to die at some point, that means that, if I were a video game developer, some video games take 7 to 8 years to make.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, you're making 8 years for this one game.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you can only make 14 to 20 games, throughout your entire life or something like that. And it's just that's not a lot of games. It's
really not.
Yeah.
Or imagine being a co-creator and your co-creator dies halfway, at the 4-year mark. That creator will never see the full game come to fruition, or people playing it, or people streaming it and playing it. That's kind of sad. Even just thinking about I don't think I'm afraid of death. I think it's just the fact that that one time I mixed alcohol and the edible, how I had this really weird realization, if I died today, my life is just it would be over, and
mm-hmm.
my husband's life would just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
My life is just over. I guess you just fall into a sleeping trance maybe and never wake up. We never know, or your brain completely is just do you think okay, let's say you're on the hospice bed, right? But you're so medicated and drugged out. Are you even conscious in those few moments of life? What happens to your brain? Do you even know what's happening? Are you low key, is your psyche just please just end it all? We need to stop breathing on the count of 3. I think that's so interesting.
It just shuts down. I think I think basically there is a moment in which you are alive and conscious, and then I think there's just the next moment you aren't.
Do you think you come to terms with it in a way? You psychologically just, well, obviously if you die in a car crash, you wouldn't know, but if you were in a hospital bed and you knew your body was just slowly withering away.
If you're dying of old age, I think that's what you're asking. And I think it's just something that kind of I think in the end you just get tired, and it's just kind of cause that's what everyone usually says. It's my body's feeling really tired, and so all it is just kind of you versus fighting the urge to sleep, and times when it's just kind of you can't really fight that urge.
Mother Nature.
Yeah. So it's basically that. It's probably the same thing as being very, very tired at the end of the day, watching a movie and trying to finish watching the movie. You're gonna fall asleep at some point, but when that is
you just fight it.
Yeah, you're just fighting it. But I don't. Yeah, and it's not for old age. I'm pretty sure it's not even painful. It's literally just that. It's just kind of like, hey, I want to go to sleep. And people are like, no, don't go to sleep. It's like, I have to.
I need to now. The movie's over. I've watched it like 30 times already. So let's turn the TV off.
Sometimes people's movies are just them telling their loved ones that they love them. So that's right at the end of saying like, hey, I love you and I wanted to let you know that, and then it's like, all right, my time's come. Blah.
The blah. Oh God. Yeah. What's your ideal way to die?
Probably like exploding. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay.
Or dying in sleep, I guess. Probably dying in sleep. Yeah. That's probably the better. I just didn't even think about that.
Holy shit. Okay, so if the time comes for you to sacrifice your body to just be a human explosive, I guess you take that. Or naturally falling asleep. I dig that. Very extremes, but they both, come to the same conclusion, the same ending. Wow,
I don't want to die of old age. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't either. I know we talked about that, about like technology and how you want to stay all hip and cool, and yeah, I don't really want to die of old age either. I think I'm the same. I'd rather just like die in my sleep or just die of like a high impact like car crash or something very fast and quick.
Yeah.
Nothing slow and painful for everyone around.
I think, I think I can get a lot more morbid into it, but I don't think I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, how was your week?
That was a weird death.
Yeah, I love how that's where we started. Topic. It's just like so death.
Let's talk about dying.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. God is good. He has risen. We might be risen up. We might rise up to him one day. But besides that, yeah, it was good, last weekend, my husband and I, this is a homeowner tip. When you become a homeowner, you have a dryer and you do have to not only have to clean the dryer vent, because that is very important, like where all the lint collects, but you also have to unplug the dryer, unplug the silver coil that connects the dryer to the vent outside, and then you do have to clean that, which we didn't know. And so for the longest time, our dryer was slowly like not working, like it literally would not dry clothes. So long story short, we ended up like using the leaf blower, and I was holding the leaf blower to like blow out all the extra shit, all the lint and water out, and it all came out, and it looked like our house just had a diarrhea outside of lint and water, and it was disgusting. But now our dryer works like brand new. Our clothes are drying. It doesn't take 3 cycles to dry clothes. I'm very excited about that. And with that money that we saved, we bought a desktop literally the other day. So now my husband has his own little, like, he says it's our desktop. I'm like, really? It's your desktop computer for video games and whatnot. So yeah, guys, if you become a homeowner, you gotta clean out that dryer vent because it will fuck up your clothes and not dry them, and for safety and save you money. So yeah, last weekend was really good, adulting, and then this week was just, I think, an average week of starting my new job. Oh, I bought Link's Awakening for my Switch, and I have been obsessed with the game. I've played it every night all last week for like 4 hours after work. It was really bad, but it's so fun. It's so cute. It's like cute little challenges. I've never played a game like that before, like a Zelda game, right? Zelda family game thing, I don't know, but yeah, it's a good game. I'm like obsessed with it. So yeah. Overall, good week.
Zelda's my childhood.
Good video game.
Zelda's my childhood. Yeah, that's 100% my childhood. I remember it. I used to play Zelda's Ocarina of Time. That was like my main Zelda game, and then I played so many other different Zelda games. It's beautiful. So I when you told me that, I was like, hell yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, it's a good game. I will admit though, I've relied heavily on YouTube and the internet to figure out some of this stuff because I've never played a game like this before, and when I watch the YouTube videos and like go online to honestly unlock the level, because I really don't even know what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I realized how like complicated but cool this game is, and how much effort's been put into it, and like the storyline and all the running around you have to do. So I think I do appreciate it more, even though I'm like low-key cheating. But it's like, I think without the internet, I honestly would still be on like level 1 because I don't really know what I'm doing. But it's a good game. I like it a lot. So
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to like to use like walkthroughs and different things like that, especially when like if you're newer. I mean, like that's everybody remembers when they were younger and they were like, you know, getting like going through walkthrough by walkthrough when they're making playing a game. So you're just like, all right, how the fuck do I get past this?
Yeah.
But as you start playing a lot more like Zelda games, you start getting used to navigating the story and going through the puzzles and stuff like that, because it has a lot of puzzles for you to solve. It
does.
Yeah.
It really does, though. It's like, for one big step, you have to do like 15 smaller steps to get to the big main chunk. And yeah, I think it's fun. So like I said, I had a good, fun, adulting week. What about your week?
My week has been actually really good. So I was working on a new song, and the song's coming out really, really great. There's only like a small amount of changes that I'm going to be doing for it next, and I might actually like release it very soon. I haven't released a song in forever. It's very similar to the only other song that I have that's officially out on like Spotify and streaming platforms, which is We Started Falling. It's very similar to that. It gives the same kind of vibes, but I think it goes a lot harder, and it shows a lot of growth from We Started Falling. I also bought a guitar, and it came in today. That's the reason why I was late to watch the movie, because I kept playing with my guitar. My fingers hurt. I would imagine. I don't play guitar, and I've never played. Like I've owned 2 guitars before, but because I was never like into music, and I never really had a way to change put those efforts towards learning the guitar into something else that I want to do, like music, because I wasn't into music before. I would just never pick up those guitars, so I ended up like selling one for free, and then the other one ended up breaking for some reason. I don't know, nobody knows why. But yeah, this time I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy another guitar, and I'm actually gonna use it. And I've been planning on buying the guitar for several months. But yeah, and then I bought it, and this time the other ones were acoustic guitars. This one was an electric guitar.
Oh wow, so that must really hurt your fingers.
Yes, it hurts a lot. It's gonna take a while to get calluses on my fingers enough, and I have to cut my nails as well, because like my nails grow extremely fast. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut my nails very often. But yeah, I was playing with it. It's very cool. I got some chords down. Fingers still hurt. They're burning right now. But you know, that's just what it is to own a guitar. Also,
exactly, gotta put in that work.
I'm officially taking piano lessons. My piano lessons start next week on Saturday at 1:30. Paying for that. Wow. Yeah. I can't wait. You know, that's like the thing that I need to learn the most is piano, especially for like production, because I have like literally 2 pianos next to me. Yeah, and
that's exciting.
I feel like there was like one more thing, but I don't remember, so we're just gonna end it with that. That was my week. It's been very awesome, very musical. Oh yeah, no, wait, there's more. No, okay. Yesterday I watched Demon Slayer the movie. I went to the movies with some friends, and we watched the new anime Demon Slayer movie. Super sad, it's a tearjerker.
Did you cry?
And then Porter Roberson put out an album Friday that I listened to, and it was a good album, really, really good. Very, very much so enjoyed it. My favorite song on there so far is Mother. If anyone wants to see, it's Nurture by Porter Roberson. This is the album. And then on Saturday, so I said Friday it came out. On Saturday, he created a virtual concert called Secret Sky. It's free.
How was that?
It was fucking amazing.
Was it cool?
It was beautiful. It was one of the coolest fucking things like I've ever seen so far. his like you got to see a lot of his friends' sets. Rez was awesome. There was a lot more. There's some other people who were really good. A lot of people were DJing. A lot of people were showing their actual music, their own like personal music. It was just all really, really good. And then Porter came out as the last set because it was his concert, and he fucking destroyed it. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I was in a Discord with my friends, and we were talking to each other, and like throughout a large portion of the performance, we were just all quiet just because of how amazing it was. Also, it was since it was a virtual concert, they had a thing for the browser basically where you spawn in as this 3D person, and you're able to like walk through as if you were at like a concert.
Why did you not tell me about this? That's like pretty cool.
Well, because I didn't even know that they had this. Like he had announced this cool shit like the day before.
Yeah.
But two, I didn't know you were into Porter. If that was what you're wondering.
I'm really not, but I'm just on his website right now, and it looks like really cool. So yeah. I can imagine that his like virtual concert is actually like pretty.
It
like,
was
amazing.
So cool. There were different like you can like watch this like. There were tons of people there. You could see different people who were in the same world. You could go onto this like balcony and watch the thing, or you could be in like the field and watch the concert happening. It was really cool. You could also talk to other people. If you went into certain circles, you could activate your microphone and talk to people and shit like that. It was amazing. You could go to different rooms, and these different rooms, one of them was like a cube world, and so everything was like cubes and shit like that, and they had light shows as well. It was really, really great.
How can I see what this looked like? Like, I just want to see. I'm just so curious.
I might actually send you a video because I took a lot of like videos and screenshots. Hold on.
Please, just send me one. Like, that sounds so cool.
I took a lot of all right, here's like the basic one. I take a lot of like screenshots, like pick as if I was like
a
bear or something like that for pictures.
That
was just like
cool.
the basic, yeah.
And those are all the other people like attending.
Yeah, there was other people attending, and you could go to like so many different places. Like,
that is so fucking cool.
It was so cool, yeah.
Utah, Colorado.
Yeah.
Peru.
Yeah, there was some people from Peru. They were from all over the world. It was amazing, and like, just I'm never gonna forget that. Thank you, Porter.
So cool. I wonder like how his team put that together, what they had to do.
They hired a game company. It was by like the game company was like called like Cubics or something like that. I don't remember the name, but yeah, it was a game company.
That is so fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
All I know is that I'm gonna do it better. I'm gonna do it better.
I like that.
And I'm gonna be something, you know?
It gives me like Minecraft vibes, but more like refined as far as like obviously like the graphics. But I think that is so like an interesting concept. It's like virtual, it's like internet meets art meets like coming together weirdly as a community via the internet, but like in a more immersive way.
By the way, if you want to see these pictures, I also posted these pictures on my Instagram, on my Twitter at nxxping. No, nxhoping or nhoping, nxxping. I have a bunch of pictures on there. There's some like really funny ones, and there's non-funny ones, or just like regular ones. I literally took pictures as if I was like at a concert myself. It was a great time.
I thought we talked about this. Twitter is for tweeting out your thoughts. Instagram is for sharing the photos, Alex.
But those are I probably should have done that, but whatever. It's Twitter. I'm just used to it. Instagram is just so fucking. It's just too it's too confusing. It's too confusing.
Fine, I'll let that be. Be.
But and I tweeted my thoughts were tweeted out during the times that I was tweeting out those images as well.
Oh, you're live tweeting about the concert.
I was live tweeting. Yeah, I feel so hip.
Look at you.
it was just a great time. The album, his rendition of the album from his set, because it wasn't just he was live DJing, so that means that like he was making the music basically live, where he would mix certain sounds and certain like just different effects and shit like that to create the concert, and it just was great. He also, I'll send you the video, but he recorded his set. So you can't see all like the cool shit of the VR, the virtual stuff, because it was also VR, by the way. You could put on a VR headset and be the face of those people. But he uploaded his set, and it was just very beautiful. It was just...
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my week. It was very musical, extremely musical.
Yes. You're like rediscovering your musical ambitions and bringing them to fruition. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Happy for you.
Son of a bitch.
Are you good?
I'm trying to copy I ended up copying and pasting the wrong thing. Okay, I was sending you the set. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was so great. It was so great. It filled me with so much inspiration. Secret Sky. And his album. So I actually watched it like technically Thursday night. So it was Friday at 12 o'clock in the morning. And the last song was just so beautiful. I was just like, it just got me in a mood, bro. I was just like, I started like writing and shit.
You're vibing.
It was kind of high. It was
got
great.
Inspired.
Yeah.
I like that. It's good.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my week. That was my very interesting week. Can't wait for many more. I might end up going to Texas in like July or June, because the streamer friend that I know, who might actually be a guest on the show one day, whenever we decide that we want her to be here. But she's going. There's like an anime convention down there, and she's interested in that type of stuff, and so like she wants a bunch of her viewers / mods to go. So I was like, okay. We'll see. I haven't been anywhere ever in a while, so we'll see. I may not, because again, I'll first take my shot. I have to take my shot first before I go. I haven't taken the vaccine yet.
Yeah, I scheduled like 2 appointments to get the first one, but then on this I like canceled the first one because I was like kind of nervous, and then after talking to like some people, I like just canceled the second one because I was like, I get it, but like I'm also like, it's like the flu shot at this point in a way. Like you can either get the flu shot or some people don't, and like last year 2020 I got the flu shot, but I haven't gotten it in a few years. And I'm also kind of like, as a female who's like only 24 and I want to have kids, and we don't really have all the research into like the long-term effects that it has on women and like fertility and hormones. I'm kind of like, I might just wait until like we have some more research, especially for women, because like and I'm not saying I'm like an anti-vaxxer, because like I want to not only protect myself but other people, but I'm like, this is so new and it came out so fast, and like I'm a young female that wants to hopefully one day, if I can, have children, and I just want some more research on like the long-term effects before I just put something kind of unknown to my body. And also, weird tangent, but I am adopted, so I literally have no family health history. So my health, when people are like, oh yeah, I have celiacs in my family, or my family has history of diabetics, I'm like, my family, unknown. I could have diabetes in my future, I don't know, or cancer, I have no idea. So I'm kind of like cautious about it. Like maybe I'll get it if it's like required, but at the time being, I'm like, no, I haven't gotten COVID yet, and I don't plan to because I don't like being in large groups anyways. So I'm just I'll wait until there's some more research on women and the effects. But yeah, once you get your first shot, I mean, like, go at it, just be safe. Texas is really cool, but it's very dry heat in the summer, so very dry.
Yeah, I've never been to Texas.
It's nice. I like the dry heat over the humidity, but it's dry and you can feel that sun beating down on your heart.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm also pretty hesitant. I would tell you when it comes to like the healthiness of it with your hormones or whatever that crap is. I say probably Google it. I would imagine that's like probably researched before given to women and stuff like that. So probably look into that. I'm not entirely sure, but I would imagine that's probably a important thing. But I also am very cautious because I'm not. Let's just say that I don't want to be the first person on Mars. I'll be like the fifth, sixth trip, something like that.
Maybe 50th.
Yeah, maybe because like I'd rather not. I'd rather get in while it's good. And that meaning that like the Johnson & Johnson one has been giving people blood clots in the brain and killing them. So and it's not a lot of people, so don't be afraid. And it seems to be only Johnson & Johnson. The other two seem to be very, very good. So this is in no way like anti-vaxxer talk. Go get the other two. But me personally, I'm very wary. But before I do anything that would require me to to need to be like safe, I will absolutely get the vaccine, and I plan on getting it no matter what. So if I need it, I'll get it.
Yes.
Or when I'll need it, I'll get it. So if I'm planning on going on a plane, I'm gonna get it before I go on the plane. I'm not that selfish. I'm not selfish enough to say, oh, I might be wary, but at the same time, like, if I'm gonna go on a plane because I'm wary in this, no, I know that like I care more about people's lives.
Wow, you're very thoughtful.
So noble.
I want to say I care about other people, but I low-key selfishly care about myself, just like a tiny bit more. Just it's like a teeny bit.
Would you? So the difference is I mean that I care about other people's lives more than like my leisures, right? So like, okay, that makes more sense then. Going to Texas to go to an anime convention doesn't mean that I should risk other people's lives because because you're traveling for leisure. You don't have to go, but you want to go. It's not a need, it's a want. I mean, I respect that, but also technically when it comes to now that I think about it, when it comes to the vaccine, it's a selfish vaccine anyway because it doesn't stop you from spreading it or getting it. It just stops the what's his name. So even still going on a plane is still kind of a thing for other people. Yeah, you're still risking other people. But yeah, as long as I keep my mask on and stuff like that, then I have a less chance of sending it. Yeah.
Don't go out in large crowds. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Don't obviously like go to the bathroom and like not wash your hands and just touch your face and cough everywhere. Like do anything that a normal, sane human that has respect for others, common courtesy that hopefully you were taught in school and in your house. So yeah, I feel the same. Like if you're gonna travel for leisure, just literally be cautious of other people and wear that fucking mask because we've been doing it for a whole year now, and yes, you can breathe with it on, you're still here and alive, so like absolutely. Why are you saying, oh, I can finally breathe? It's like, bitch, you're breathing before. Shut up. Like that was the most annoying thing I heard when my old job, when the state of Mississippi, the stupid ass governor lifted the mask mandate, and people would be like, oh, I can breathe now. Oh my god, I can breathe now. And I'm like, you were literally breathing before. Shut the fuck up. And you need that mask because I saw you 10 feet away, sneezing, coughing, touching your phone, touching your face, like being disgusting. So put that mask up for everyone else because ew. I'm good. But that's besides the point. Should we move on to our topic of the week?
Yeah, probably. What is our topic of the week?
It is school. Good old school. Higher education. Continual learning. Setting us up for failure, trauma, emotional distress, possibly a good career, bullying, friendships, drugs.
Yeah. Schooling, my schooling was very interesting. I loved school because I could get out of my house. I never really liked living with my parents. I always wanted to, be outside of the house. Especially since my mom was very, she grew up with like trying to keep me in the house because she was very afraid of like the outside world.
Ooh.
And because I was a child, she's like,
Yes.
I don't want you to get into those bad things. So because of that, my mom had like tried to keep me inside her house. But the problem with that, and that a lot of parents need to understand, is that you forcing someone not to do something makes them want to do that thing even more.
Yes, I definitely
especially
agree.
a kid. So I tried to find every single way so that I can be outside of the house, and school was one of those ways. So because of that, I kind of like, I don't know if it's the same reason, but I also tended to get a lot of like really high scores all the time. I even got into a gifted program in elementary school. So I wasn't like, what am I trying to say? And I was the nerd that liked to stay in all the time. And the nerd was like the first like 10 years. So until 10th grade, until like 10th grade, that's when like I started being a little less of that and a little bit more finding out who I am. Yeah, just a little bit. I was still kind of super fucking dorky then, but I was still finding myself at the time. And yeah, I got bullied a lot. Not much in high school, but in middle school and elementary school, a lot of the nerd talk, a lot of the there was this really sad moment when I was younger. Oh my gosh, that we were in gym, and I was very young, and I was just very young, and I was kind of weird. And so it was like everyone's first day at the gym. And it was like the first time that anybody had ever had to like change to go to gym. Into like their gym shorts and stuff like that. And this guy, he was very like nervous about himself. Like he'd come out and he was like, oh crap. And you could tell that he was like, nervous about his legs because they were very ashy.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I saw that and I was like, okay. And then I looked at him and I told him, I was like, hey, well, I'm very ashy, because I saw that I was very ashy at the time. And I was like, hey, look at this. Like I was trying to make him feel comfortable. And then he ended up laughing at me and getting everyone to laugh at me. And I felt really bad. Yeah. I felt really bad. I was like, well, fuck that shit.
Solidarity with you, like, you
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, that was really, really fucking sad. I was like, God damn, like, man, I was trying to help you out. I didn't even have to do that. But yeah, I would get picked on and shit like that. But it's mainly because I was too afraid to be myself in a way. And something that I learned later in life, again, as I got older, is that the more you're comfortable with being yourself, the more people are attracted to that. Like, basically confidence. People are attracted to confidence. And I lacked all of the confidence in the world when I was younger. And and you could tell that rubs people the wrong way, is like lacking confidence. And even to this day, I know that for a fact. I really dislike people who are not confident. It's very hard to communicate with those types of people, because you're basically, whatever conversation you have with them, you feel like you're just attacking them, because they're always like, oh, well, I'm sorry. It's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just but yeah, being confident is very important. I didn't know that. So as a kid, I was very not confident, got bullied because of it, got into high school, got way more confident, and then, stopped getting bullied.
There you go.
Yeah.
You no
Then I got
longer
into college.
stood up for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I got into college, and then I was able to find who I really was and meet like my real friends, and grow a lot more. And then now I've become like an adult that's done a lot. Because of like my necessity of like wanting to leave my parents and shit like that, when I got into college, the first thing that I did was I got my own bank account. I put all my money inside of my bank account. I didn't want my parents' bank account or my parents being able to be connected to it at all. I made it so that my mom didn't have to pay for like my housing. So I went to housing. I went to like on campus housing, and I used my loans to pay for it. I tried to completely take that out of my life, like taking my dependency on my parents. And it was so strange because I would always look at other people and they were all dependent on their parents. And I was like, isn't that weird to you? Doesn't that make you feel uncomfortable to have to be dependent on your parents?
Yeah.
And even to this day, it kind of questions. I kind of have that question, even though I know why. It's just kind of like.
But why to you?
Yeah, it would make me. Yeah, it makes me feel uncomfortable having to be dependent on like my parents and anyone for that fact, really. But yeah, then I am where I am today, where I'm super, super successful as the age that I am. I'm happy, and I feel that like I'm cool.
Good. I mean, I like that. My take on school is really different from yours, but I'm glad that through school you found like escapism, maybe went through some bullying, but overall like found yourself and were able to set yourself up for the success that you wanted through school, essentially.
Wait, what?
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 I just think it's cool. Like, you're able to like leave your parents' house and not be dependent on them through school, basically.
Yeah. Fuck my parents' house.
Oh God. Okay.
I used to really not like my parents. I'm really okay with them now. I used to really not like my parents at all. They just made me feel so bad. But yeah, what about your schooling?
So I guess some background-ish. So actually, like I said before, I am adopted to a white woman, but yeah, and I also do have a sister, but we are Asian, and then my mom's obviously white. So when people first see me, they think I was raised by an Asian household. That was like the stereotypes of like, oh, you want to be a doctor, or you like are so strict and you're academically inclined in life. And I'm the complete opposite. I think I've always hated school. I hated the idea of just like learning stuff that really isn't that interesting. And I think it's overall me just, which I've realized through college, just like me in my younger years just being really lazy and like hated doing the mundane every day, going to school, learning about this boring ass shit, honestly never putting in the effort, and then that in turn made me look like I didn't know how to learn. But I think it was me just being lazy and being like, this is boring as fuck, like why would I read this boring ass book, or like why would I learn how to do these boring math problems, and in turn having to make my mom pay for literally math tutoring when I probably should have put in the effort even in high school. But it's like, I was like, what is the purpose of any of this? And still to this day I'm kind of like, what is the purpose of learning algebra when I don't even use it? And I just did business statistics and actually kind of learned by myself because I had to put in the effort. But it's still like elementary, middle school, especially high school. That was like senior year, the biggest struggle for me going, because like I had a car, I could go where I wanted, and I kind of was like over school at that point. And yeah, really, I just think school is the biggest sham in my life. But I understand the necessities of it because I know that I need this degree under my name so I can get like a better job that will make more than an hourly worker. But I've also learned too, like, you can learn real world skills by getting a job that will teach you these real world skills. And I experienced that at like one of my first like adult jobs in Tampa as even just like an office admin. And like even looking at my resume and looking back, like I learned more than what I did. Obviously, like my major in my community college was like for graphic design, which was way different than what I was doing. But in turn, it's like at least like through that job, I was able to like tell myself like I have to go back to school and get a bachelor's, and I'm actually going to do like business administration and learn all the different aspects of business. And I think now that I am in college as an adult and really having to put in the effort, it's like, okay, this stuff is pretty interesting. And it's something that I need to just learn, obviously, to better my future and how, like, you bettered your future by going to school and, like, not being dependent on your parents. And I think that's, like, just how I feel the same. I feel the same, like, I just need to do this to better, like, my future and my husband's future and our future kids' futures. And if you find a topic that you think is actually interesting and can find a job that will teach you these skills, which I'm glad about, like, my new job. Like, I'll be learning, like, bookkeeping and how to do literally taxes for people. Like, I think it's interesting. So find a topic you're actually interested in and definitely go to college. Even if you have no idea what you're going to major in, don't be a 25-year-old going back to college, because then it's even harder. You know, I think I think in a way it might be harder for people. I mean, to me, I feel like both ways. Like, going right out of high school is probably the dumbest idea ever. And I hate how society puts that on people, because, like, if I knew how cool accounting was and, like, HR, like, the business, I probably would have never gone for fucking graphic design, because I don't even fucking like doing that as, like, a job. Like, I would have gone for literally accounting and probably would have been like, I want to be a CPA. But it's like, now that I'm older, I honestly just want to get this degree. I don't even care anymore about becoming a CPA. I just want to get a degree so I can at least get a better job, and then hopefully later work towards, like, a master's for something. But I do see the benefits of going, like, out of 18, but it's like you have to have that own, like, determination and set that own goal for yourself. But you don't even know what your goals are at, like, 18. But then you can wait until 25. But then you have you have more, like, barriers or obstacles than as opposed to being 18, when you can depend on your parents. But as a 25-year-old, depending on your parents, they could be like, no, you're done. Get out of the house. Goodbye. You're not living here. Adios. So I think it just depends on your life situation. But I'd say no matter what, either go to trade school and learn a trade, nothing's wrong with that, join the military, or get a degree. Because if you don't do any of those three, or be an entrepreneur, just, you have to have some type of goal, any goal, you know? Like, I don't know if you got this in your classes, but how they'd be like, what are your short-term and long-term goals? And I hate that question so much, but I feel like it's a good question that school drills in you, and you should at least set a short-term goal for you. Even if you don't know long-term, at least a short-term goal, because that's what can motivate you. Like, for you, how, like, you wanted to learn piano, and now you have, like, a piano appointment Saturday at 1:30. Like, any fucking goal, just set it for yourself so you can, like, get out of working a fucking hourly job. And even though I like my job, it's like, I want to make, like, more money, because why fucking not? Like, yeah. So yeah, school for me was like a -10, but now I'm at least, like, at a positive solid 1. So yep.
Yeah, I would say, if you can in any way and you're comfortable with it, you should probably 100% wait to go to college or university. Because the problem is that if you were in the UK, then I would agree with you. Then go immediately. There should be no fucking problem going to a university. The problem is that in America, university costs an arm and a leg, and that loan really does fuck you up your entire life. It's a lot of money, and, you know, the fact that people think that an 18-year-old has the wherewithal to understand the amount of weight that money that they're spending on that colleges. Yeah, exactly.
The interest, like, again.
That's I personally think it's
so
horrible.
Unethical.
Yeah, and I also think that it's unethical. So yeah, I think that you 100% need to wait, because I think you need to find something that you're passionate in to go to college. Because if you don't find anything that you're passionate in, then you're less likely to go to college or to finish college. And again, that's wasting a lot of money.
Exactly.
And even
your
if
money
you
and
end
your
up
time.
Yeah, and even if you end up finishing college, you might have ended up, because you rushed into college, you might have ended up going into something you didn't like at all. And then now you have a degree with something that you hate, and now you don't know what to do after that, and you probably are going to get like super depressed because you're going to understand that like you just wasted your life for that. Yeah. So yeah, I would say if you possibly can, then absolutely wait and find out what you're passionate in. Something that intrigues me is how many times I've asked my friends if they have something that they're passionate in, and they just don't have anything that they're passionate in, and I'm like, okay, what are your hobbies? They're like, I mean, I play video games. It's like, okay, that's fine. So do you want to do something with video games in the future? And they're like, no. And she's like, okay, so what do you play video games for? And they're like, I just play video games. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing on the side of that? Because I play video games as well, but like, what are you doing on the side of that? She's like, I watch TV. It's like, is there anything that you're doing that like,
or anything
you're
progressing about?
Yeah, you're passionate about, and you're like, and you actually like are working towards something with it. And a lot of them say no. A lot of them are like, they're like, oh no, well, I'm in school, I'm in college for this thing. And it's like, okay, well, like, what's your long-term goal? What are you trying to get to? And it's like, oh, well, a lot of them are like, oh, I'm trying to get to something that has nothing to do with what I'm going to school for, or something like that, or like 2 or 3 steps further beyond like that. Like, let's say that I wanted to be a doctor, and my goal was to, you know, develop an entire like doctor infrastructure or some whatever,
something
right?
the complete opposite.
Well, not even like, so it could be similar, but there are ways to work to goals that are that are in addition to schooling. You can be in school, you can have a job, you can have all these things, and then you can have something that you're passionate in, that you're working towards or working on. So in my example, or with me, right, I have computer science, right? That's my degree. I've been working towards it. I wanted to be a programmer. I love being a programmer. I'm happy with being a programmer. The problem is that that's not my long-term goal. My long-term goal is to be something to people. It's to be able to, you know, help people. It's to be able to create, like, make as much change to the world as possible. That's my long-term goal. So I know that I can do that with my programming, and I know how, but that doesn't mean that like I'm gonna just throw all my eggs in the basket of programming. I know that there's so many other ways that I can get to that goal, like, you know, getting big with music, or getting big with streaming, or getting big with all this other stuff.
Giving yourself a long-term goal outside of your work.
Yeah. I have more routes, I guess you could say, to get to that long-term goal, or just I have more firepower to get to that long-term goal. And a lot of people just kind of like put all of their eggs in one basket, and then they just kind of fall flat when they figure out that, oh, maybe it's not happening fast enough, or blah blah. It's like, well, yeah, of course not. You're not doing anything. You're just going to work every single day. You're going to school every single day. You come home, you watch some TV, you play some video games, and don't do anything with any of that stuff, and then you just go to sleep and start it all over again. It's like, what do you expect? Like, there's not going to be any progress except
if you don't put effort in, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. If like, there's only gonna be the progress of, you know, the schooling or the work that you have. But why would you stagnate yourself with just that? What if you could do something more and like guarantee yourself like happiness and stuff like that? I don't know.
I think it's just hard for people to see that, like, or to have that mindset of like, literally, long-term goals are called long-term goals because it's going to take you a few years to achieve that goal. But if you put in the steps and effort and self-motivation, like, you will achieve the long-term goal. And it might not be now, and it might not be like a year from now. It might be 5 years from now, but like, if you make it, like, you'll make it, but you just have to put in your own effort into it. But yeah, even if it's outside of work, I think just having like things like you said, a hobby, literally, even just a hobby. Like, okay, my hobby is probably not as extreme as yours, but like, I really like to go like thrifting and find like today, like I bought like these 2 like wall art pieces that I wanted to like strip of like the old picture and like repaint, and so I did that literally today, and now I'm making a little like cute graphic. So even if to me, if you just have a hobby outside of like playing video games and watching like TV, like it's better for you not only mentally but physically, emotionally. Like it just makes you happier than just being stagnant in like your daily routine.
Yeah, like I guess I'm just trying to fix, because when people say that they're it's very often that they're bored, or
I hate when people say that, but I say that all the time to my husband. It's like I have to tell myself like there's so many things I have to do in this house, like if I at least do one, like I won't be bored. But yeah, when people say to like, I'm sorry I cut you off, but like when they say like, oh, I'm bored, I don't know what I'm gonna do this weekend, or I don't really have anything to do, or like I don't have friends, I'm like, okay, bitch, I have like no physical friends here except for like my husband that I absolutely love, but like I find things to do to like occupy myself. Like it's not that hard. Come on.
Yeah. When I hear things like that, the first thing I ask is, do you have any hobbies? Because usually the answer is no.
Yes.
Like usually it's like,
I hate
and
that.
The idea is that I just want, and I think everyone should strive to have something that have some hobby or thing that you can put your time into, so that on those days that you do get, like, you can possibly get bored, you have something to turn to.
Yes,
and
anything.
Once you find that hobby that you're passionate in, you're gonna find so much happiness.
Yes.
I asked my friend, like, oh, when was the last time you were like joyous?
Oh,
and he's like, I don't. His answer was, I don't even know.
Oh my god.
And it's like, yeah, of course. Like if you're in this, and if you're in that cycle over and over and over again, like it's kind of hard to find. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find joy there. Like, and I'm just like, okay, well, do you do anything like towards your hobby, towards like your goal?
Anything.
He's like, well, yeah, I'm like, right now he's like working, like he's doing schooling to get to his final goal. So it's like, okay, so what else?
Anything else outside?
That's it. Yeah, he's
a
like,
book?
that's it. And I'm like, yeah,
Prayer?
You read a book, you want to write, you want to do all this other stuff. Like there's just so much to do, and it's just like, why are you keeping yourself from happiness? Why aren't you like finding a passion? And it's not, and to be fair, it's not easy to find a passion, but I think you should search for it. I think it's easy to get into a
stagnant life circle.
Well, that's easy. Yeah, it's easy to get into a stagnant life, but I do think it's also easy to just try things. I think you
try something new.
Yeah, just try these different things. Maybe you didn't know that you wanted to do music before, and then you started doing it, and you're like, oh shit, I do. That's what happened to me. I didn't know that I wanted to do music, and then I just started like, I got into depression because of this exact same problem, because I realized that like that after getting my computer science degree and it became my job, it stopped being fun to me, and so I got like super depressed. To find new outlets. Like, well, that means that there's nothing. Yeah, and so what I did was I found new outlets. I had started doing film at the time, and then I ran into music because I like to do music videos, so I started making my own music for them, and now that's where I am today, making music, and I love my music, and I'm so glad that I found it, but I only found it because I searched for it.
Yes,
and I would not have been able to do music if I didn't search for it. So stop locking yourself away from happiness by keeping yourself stagnant. Look for it. Look for those hobbies. Look for something that you're passionate in, because you will for sure, if you find that thing that you're passionate in, it will be the easiest way to explain, like if somebody asks you when is the last time you were so joyous, because I can answer that. And that one, I mean, to be fair, that answer is actually like yesterday, like Friday to yesterday, because of this Porter Roberson stuff. But before that, it was Valentine's Day when I made my second song, my second full-fledged song. It was like a year after my very first song. I was so happy about it, and I have a way to explain it and talk about it, and I can remember it because it was something that I was so passionate in. If I didn't have music, I would not have been able to even remember the last time I would be joyous. I know that for a fact. So yeah, find something you're passionate in.
Yes, I like those points you made. They're like honestly very valid points. I think especially too in like this age of like technology where you can just be so sucked into just like looking on Instagram or TikTok, then you don't really have any like real satisfaction in your life, which I think I do fall victim to at times. And then I remember, like, for me personally, when people ask me to like, oh, what are your hobbies? I'm like, I just like to literally craft. Like, if you name the craft, I've probably attempted to do it and probably have literally like all of the supplies in our like spare bedroom. But like when I do get bored, I remember like I have literally so much art supplies, it's so bad. And like I couldn't make, like, even last night I have all these photos of my dog Lori, and I made this kind of weird collage of her from being like a little puppy, aka a little baby bear, all the way up until like she was like 2, and it's like just in her office, and I'm gonna put it in my like new office space at my job. But yeah, I think circling back to everything, just like as you become an adult, you really do have to search for things that you're passionate about, and you do have to take that like small leap of faith to try it. And even if you don't like it, at least you can like cross it off your bucket and move on to like something new, because like you need to seriously, which I like how you said, like you need to have something other than like I like to watch TV or like play video games. And don't get me wrong, if those things actually make you happy, good for you, but like really look and see like if you really are happy from them, or you're just like it's just a daily routine in a way, if that makes sense. Like after that TV show or video game, like stand up for like 5 minutes and just like self-reflect or something and be like, did that actually give me like real joy or no?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I feel like that sounds so harsh, but it's like something people, once you get into that routine, you think this satisfies me, but it's not until you either meet somebody new or you find something that sparks a little joy in your mind, then you know what true like discovery, satisfaction, joy, the process of making something new, the learning curve, the like overall when you get that finished product. Like for me today, like seeing the finished product of the things I like redid, it made me so happy and excited, and I'm super pleased with them. So until you feel that like just overall like excitement, that wave, that euphoria, that good ass dopamine, like then you found like a good hobby that makes you happy and you like it. So I guess that's all I want to say. I'm gonna go into another tangent.
I think that everybody, like if not just the majority of people, that you are more than likely to be good at something, to be exceptionally well at something,
anything,
but you haven't necessarily found that thing yet, if you're not
you haven't
already
unlocked it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like the idea is that, you know, there are probably so many people who have the potential to have perfect pitch. Apparently, perfect pitch is something that you can only learn when you're a child, or something that you can only like hone in on when you're a child, or some shit like that. That's what I've heard. But that would mean that there are certain people who could have if they had like tried.
Yeah.
And there's certain people who just couldn't. But that idea there makes me feel like there's a lot more things that people like just haven't found yet that they could have been just amazing at.
Yeah, there's so many things out in the world, like besides the typical hobbies. Like you just literally, like you said, you need to just search for your passion and then you'll find it. And then you can rest easy at night.
Yeah, exactly.
And be more diverse.
How did we get from that?
I don't even know. That was
cool. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that was weird, but oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But so I guess all in all, my idea of school, I love school. I think that school is important for some people. I think that there are a lot of people who do not need to go to school at all and shouldn't. That is just a waste of money and time for those people. But I also feel like there's a lot of people who will benefit greatly from schooling, and that you should probably try it out first and figure out if it's what's best for you. Yeah. Schooling's pretty cool. It helps you get away from people and get away from your parents. You meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Also understand that
discovery.
If you are in college, do know that when you graduate, you are not going to be able to meet as many people as you would as you are able to in college. In college, that is going to be one of the most important times in your life to meeting people, because that is where you for sure have something similar with all of these people around you when you're in college. You're all in college, so you have something to talk about. Unfortunately, when you graduate from college, you're going to be living in your own at home.
Yep.
And it's going to be up to you if you want to leave your house and hang out somewhere.
That
And
is so true, though.
finding people similar to you is very hard.
It is.
So
I
do
will
know
attest to
that find your friends ASAP. It's not impossible, but
it gets
just
harder.
make sure to just make sure to try and reach out. Try to find those.
Keep the
to find some
relationships
friends.
going.
Yeah.
Put in the effort in
because-
college.
Yeah, it's really hard afterwards.
It
Let's
is.
just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any
will-
lasting words?
The only thing I have to say, I fucking hate school. My options for anyone looking into furthering their future, either look into college, get a 9 to 5 and discover what you like about it, what you don't, get a cool ass boss. Hopefully that will let you learn the ropes. Go to trade school or join the military. Like Alex said, literally, like when you do not go to school and you do not have anything in common with a group of people, it is so much harder to make actual friends that you actually like and want to put in like the time and effort to hang out with. And I've discovered that first-handedly, and I don't even go to school, college in person. I do it online. So, but yeah, making friends is hard, but schooling, no matter what educational route you go through, you gotta do it just to further your education and find a hobby on the side that you like. That's all I have to say about school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, passions or hobbies in school really are like peanut butter and jelly. They're necessaries to get you through life, whether you like it or not. So that's all I have to say about it, our topic of the week.
All right. Well, this goes into our movie of the week.
Oh God, Alex.
Which we had aptly what's the movie called?
Tallulah, you're the one that picked
Tallulah.
this.
Yes. I just forgot her name.
Uh-huh.
It's a strange name, Tallulah. What type of name is
It's
that?
a hard name. It's a heavy name.
It's a different name. It's very different. So yeah, our movie was Tallulah, about a girl who stole a baby.
Yep.
So I guess we can start off with the questions first, and then we'll go on with the overall later. So, I feel like okay. Let's give a synopsis, and then based on the synopsis, we'll do the questions from there. Okay, so the synopsis is basically at the very beginning, her boyfriend leaves her because he is tired of living like a homeless person, because that's what she's used to. You can tell that she's obviously been damaged and not had a great life. So her boyfriend, who you kind of found out later that had kind of like left with her on his own accord. He was like, yeah, sure, let's do this. And he had second thoughts. So he finally left. She went to find his mom to tell her that, to try to get her to like give her money or help her in any way. I'm pretty sure she wanted money. And then she ended up accidentally stumbling into this lady who was having a really bad time with her child. And you could tell that lady did not want that child. Like, she was just like, this thing is ruining my life. And she was basically trying to hand it off to the main character in any way possible. And you could tell that there was just a lot of neglect there. So the main character decided to take the child because it was too adorable. And when she tried to leave at first, like, the child started screaming, crying. So she was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking this child. And then the story unfolds. So the very first question to you is, do you think that taking the baby was the right thing to do / a good idea?
Absolutely not. Like, you could obviously tell from the first scene with the mother and child that there was neglect going on. I feel like if I was Tallulah, I would have honestly looked after the baby. Then when the mom came home and passed out, I would have stayed in the hotel room, you know, I would have taken that money though because she needed it. But then I would have literally gone to the cops and I just would have been like, hey, I think child neglect is happening. This lady thought I was housekeeping, and I know I probably shouldn't have said yes, but she obviously was on some kind of narcotics, and her child was naked and peeing on the carpet, and she was fine with the child almost walking onto the balcony with rails. So yeah, she's at this hotel room. You should really check into her. Okay, bye. Yeah, no, she should not have taken the child, like, at all. Because kidnapping's not cool.
Yeah, kidnapping is indeed not cool.
So,
I don't know. I think that was like that was a real human decision that she chose. I don't think that was a very like. Now, there's a difference between being right and wrong and being an understandable decision. And I think it was a wrong thing to do, but I think the decision was very understandable. And you could kind of,
in this situation,
you could empathize. Yeah, and you can empathize with her. And so, yeah, it's rough. I'm not sure what I would have chosen there. Just because like seeing the thing cry, the child cry, yeah. And you know, it's interesting that most people we consider babies its, but that's mainly because like it's you don't really, you know, when you're referring to a baby, you're referring to the neutral, the non like he or she, just the it. But anyway, the thing, yeah, it started crying, and like I'm trying to leave, and I'm already having a bad time and a bad day, and I'm like a poor like I'm basically like living on the streets every day, so I probably don't really have that good of a relationship with cops and stuff like that. So I don't know if I would call protective services.
But like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, and of course like it was kind of rough. Like it would be rough trying to leave there. But
Yeah,
then
that is true to explain yourself, but like,
I don't really to explain myself, just like having to leave a baby crying.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's not your child, so you can't, like, again, kidnapping is not cool.
Yeah, it's not. Again, I think it's the wrong thing to do. It's an understandable decision. The more that I think about it, the more that I'd probably just leave. To be completely fair, I when I watched the movie, the first thing I thought was, is it legal to just like, for her to just dip, like, leave the baby there?
I don't think it is, because to me, ethically, you could not even leave your child with like someone that you think is housekeeping for the hotel. And
no, I'm not saying the mother. I'm saying the main character.
Well,
so the mother left the main character with the child and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be gone," and she basically imposed onto the main character. The main character really didn't want to do it. Character. So would it have been like?
No, I could not in that. But like I said, like, even though the mom came home passed out, I would not have left that hotel room. I would have waited until she woke up, and then I would have been like, here's your child, I'm going. Like, goodbye. I don't want to be a part of this situation at all, but I am going to the cops, so bye. Yeah. Again, it also depends on like, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand what somebody in their, like, somebody who chose this decision. I always give I'm for the most part, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, because most people aren't crazy. Most people have like genuine, you know, cares and things but you know why
mind.
She took the child.
So I basically I'm trying to see like this level-headed human being, why would they choose this? And they chose it because it's fucking sad. It's very hard. It's a very hard choice, even though it's wrong. You know, in a way, she fixed that child's life.
Oh yeah, she definitely did. I mean, she saw the child as her own self, which you see towards the end when she's explaining her childhood. But yeah, she did. If you think about it like that, like, she did, because spoiler alert, the mom probably does not get custody of the child ever again, so she did help her.
I wonder.
I know.
Okay, but yeah, that's wrong thing to do. It was an understandable choice. It's one of those things that like in court, it's like, I'm gonna give you the basic sentence because it was a bad thing to do and you should serve your time, but I don't think you're a horrible human being or a monster. I think you just need to be reprimanded. Because I think that's a thing. I think that there are people who do bad things on accident because they thought that was the best idea, and they're not horrible people. They just did something stupid. And it's like, serve your time, but you're not gonna get the worst of it because you're not a horrible person.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so what do you think about the the family drama? What's your opinion on that?
I thought it was really interesting. Definitely lots of hurt and pain. Thought it added a good little spice to the character dynamic with the main character. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Kind of a little lackluster in a way, but you know, someone had to have some little extra spice to them, or else it would have been a even boringer more movie. So it was good though. Every character had it. Obviously, I guess the main character, good dynamic. The quote-unquote mother-in-law, whatever you want to call her, good divorce. How he was gay, and you see literally them all together, which was such a good / weird scene. So. Little something extra to the movie. Not bad.
Yeah. And Elliot did a good job.
Yeah.
Good on him. Okay, was the dad correct to be angry? Oh yeah, the father of the stolen child. Yeah, what was your opinion on that time where like he was yelling at her?
I thought he was a little harsh, but you could see why she acted the way she did, because he seemed very verbally abusive. But then again, you're both adults and you shouldn't be drinking and maybe being on meds, or just like not in a sober mindset to be giving your child to who you think is the hotel staff. Even if the person was hotel staff, like, you should not be giving your child to this rando. And I think in a way he's allowed to be upset at the situation because the child did go missing on his wife's accord, but also you shouldn't be so verbally abusive to your wife that she needs to sneak away to like New York City. And I just think it was an interesting scene, but to me it's like you're both adults and both parties are in the wrong. Yeah, to me it's just like both parties are in the wrong. So because you're adults and the husband just seems like a fucking dickhead, and she seems troubled and insecure and just irresponsible as a mother in a way. So
in what way do you think the husband was being a dickhead?
I think just the way he was like yelling at her, even though the scene with the actual husband was very short, but it's like,
if you gave my child to some rando person and that rando person stole the child because of your negligence,
that's true,
and your inability to be like to not even to go somewhere without even telling me with my child, I'm gonna have some choice words with you. I'm gonna be saying things that I might apologize for tomorrow, but
yeah,
I'm gonna be saying things. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine.
I don't know
if that
was indicative of their relationships. I think that he was just fucking upset, and I think she deserved it. And it didn't seem like he did anything bad to her, other than just not. It seemed to not
That's
be
true.
as attracted to her as she'd like to.
Yeah, the whole thing with her is like she was just insecure about her marriage and like the way she was treated. So yes, I do agree. Now that I look back, like. Yeah, he was granted to be that upset because it is like literally your 1-year-old daughter. Like, homegirl is like helpless because she's 1 year old. Like, she can't fucking do shit. So yeah, I guess he was in the right for just exploding in that moment. Okay, yeah. What's your next question?
I can't really fault him for a minute. Like, I guess the only comment that like I'll be like, okay, dude, but even still, I wouldn't be able to like I wouldn't argue against it. Is just like the worthless comment. Like, it's like, all right, that seems to be leaking
that was
out
a little
somewhere.
harsh.
But even then, like that
But
is
you're
kind
so
of that's a
heated.
worthless thing to do. Yeah, you're heated and you're just like, you fucking dumb fucking, oh yeah, I'll have words.
Throw those hands with your words.
Yeah. Oh, dude, did you hear my hand come up? Because my hand came up because I was just like, oh, I was just so angry.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's it. So when they were when the main character, the mother, so not the mother of the child who kidnapped, but the mother of the boyfriend, when they were at the table with the father, and she used okay, wait, what was the okay, yeah. When she used the F slur,
Oh yeah.
what are your thoughts about that?
I thought it was kind of not necessary, but then it's like, if we look back at the question we just answered, like, imagine you being in the heat of the moment. You're sitting down with your ex-wife, who turns out to be a lesbian this whole time. Nothing's wrong with that, but like, just cheats on you with a woman. And I know, but still, like, you have a family with her, and she cheated on you with a woman, and then like you just got divorce papers in the mail or something, and like 3 years later you're sitting down with your ex-wife and her lover, her wife, and you have bottled this all in, and you now are just exploding. I don't think saying the F word, calling him a faggot, was like appropriate, but I think everything else before that was. But I just think being like how she said, like, oh, you're just...
I'm gonna say,
I just thought it was so inappropriate. Like,
in the future,
it was not necessary.
You saying the F slur decides to get taken out of context. I just want the people who come to this video later and continues to listen throughout hear me say that I would not say the F slur.
Yeah, that was so inappropriate on her part. I feel like whoever wrote this scene, it was like heated in the moment, but like that was not necessary. Like, she just could have been like anything else but saying that, especially now that this film was like released in like 2011 and it's now like 2021.
Wait, this film was fucking released in 2011?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
Netflix. Yeah, it was in like 2011.
Okay, interesting.
So, oh wait, no, 2016. Sorry. So 2016.
Okay.
Just kidding. But yeah.
That's Trump year, bro.
So 2016, even then I don't think saying like the F word is like necessary. And honestly, it's like the first time I've ever heard that like word be used in like a straight up movie in like a heated conversation. But
yeah, so I think so my thoughts on it is yeah, I agree with you. I think that words used in the heat of the moment kind of
like they
should
hurt
be given
more.
a little bit of like leeway, especially in this type of, because in this situation, like very similar to like your daughter or your child telling them telling you that they hate you. Like sometimes you're so upset that you just want to hurt the other person.
Yeah, so you use any means possible.
So you use anything like that you could possibly throw out. So in the real world, well, would I like fault her? Not at all. I think even in like and again, I'm a little bit different than most people because I don't really get hurt easily. So if anybody, like if I were in that same situation, but it was, the N-word, I would also give that person leeway because I'm like, all right, you're really trying to hurt me. All right, chill out. I'll talk to you tomorrow and you're going to apologize. I know that for a fact. So just chill out. Now, to be fair, it'd be hard to get that in a situation where it would make sense for me, simply because like the reason why she's mad at him is because she cheated on him because he was gay. So calling him that was like because of that's the reason of the thing. So I don't even want to. I thought of a way in which that worked, but I'm gonna pretend that it didn't. But yeah, words used in a heated moment are interesting.
Yes.
They're
daggers.
The most part, I give them a lot of leeway. Yeah, they're daggers. They're meant to hurt, and if they hurt, that's exactly what they're meant to do. But the question is, do you think that she can get that actress will end up ever getting canceled because of saying that?
I don't think so, because this is a movie, so like You have
Well-
writers that write it, but then again, as an actress, you can read the script and be like, maybe we shouldn't add this word or this sentence.
So again, so I want to point out that I personally do not give a shit. But Robert Downey Jr. was being canceled for playing the role of a movie, and the guy who his entire character was based on doing blackface. And it wasn't that like he was just doing blackface. The idea of the character was everybody knew that was bad, and they would tell him that that's bad. And so like it made sense in the context of the movie why that was okay, but people still wanted to cancel Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. So in a similar way, just because it makes sense in the context doesn't mean people won't get mad at it. So do you think people will get mad at it one day?
I mean, people get mad at like
Everything.
anything and everything.
Yeah.
It just depends on how deep people are willing to dig, and if anything else comes up in this actress's life moving forward that could like turn one topic into another topic that somehow leads to this movie scene. But overall, I think as a celebrity, like, you just get, especially now, you'll get canceled or called out for anything, no matter what it is. So I agree with you too. Like, I really don't give a shit if she gets canceled, because like, this is a movie, and who knows, maybe something like this really did happen in the writer's like real life. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. And I give a lot of leeway to playing characters in a movie. Like,
Yes.
I find that entire thing where it's like, oh, like the white lady gets cast as an Asian character in an Asian movie. Okay, well, yeah, an Asian character in an Asian movie, and then people getting mad at the actress rather than the casters, because it's the casters who cast it. And to be fair, like, it's the casters who cast it. It's not the actor. I remember the people got mad at who was it? It was the white actor who kept playing Asian characters or something like that. I'm not sure.
Really?
There was some, I don't remember, but there's some actor that people got really mad at because like either she kept playing, or I think she kept playing like gay characters or something like that. It was something along those lines where she was playing a minority character. And so people got mad at her for doing that, and then she had to apologize. And I'm like, what? How is that her fault? She's just doing her job. She is an actor. That means that she acts as someone who she's not. And so if her job is to act gay, then that's her job. You can't get mad at her for doing that, especially if that might be her like a big part, like that people like to cast her for, because maybe she's just really good at it, or people like her, and also maybe she's a big name and people want to like put that big name on the film so that they can make more money. People don't really think about that.
That is true, though. I mean, it's all in the money if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Blame the casters. Don't ever blame the actors for doing their job. If, like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like, that's really stupid. to get mad at like because I think that you do have an argument against the people who are like, oh, like these Asian characters you keep like casting them as white people.
Like white. Oh god.
And it's like, yeah, and a lot of the times. And there's an argument against that. Like, there's an argument where it's like, yeah, you should totally not cast these white people as these Asian characters, because you have Asian people who are able to play these Asian characters. Now, for a lot of the times, it's what you said before, which is that it's money,
really
like money talks. Yeah, so like, it's not because this person is white that they want to get them to play this Asian character. It's that it's Jennifer, whatever the fuck. It's this big name, and that I want her on my movie title. So if I can get somebody to act as something that they're not, then and get more money for it, why not? So get mad at them for like worrying about money, not being racist, for worrying about money.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I just looked up, at first on Google, I put in like white actresses playing Asian characters, and then something just came up where it was whitewashed movies, or essentially, what was the main search that made me come to this? Oh yeah, so it was basically yellow face movie, but I I agree with you. It's like mostly just production caring about having a face and name to the movie. But I do think it is wrong, especially if you're having somebody that is white playing a Asian woman, or a man that is white playing blackface, when there are millions of people, the actual fucking race that you could actually cast, not just a white person. So
But one person can just be better for the role.
I guess, but like still,
You don't have to look like somebody to be better.
or don't even make them Asian, just make them their own race. Like,
well, if the story was originally that the person was Asian, and so the people who are adapting it are casting for it, and they find a white person who is just way better for the character, just because they're not Asian doesn't mean that like they can't play that character well. Because again, that's their job, is to play somebody that they're not.
well, yeah, if like the character, if the race doesn't matter, but like that's fine, but don't make them pretend to be like a race that they're not. That's the only thing I'm saying.
But the question is, why though? Like, why does that matter?
The race?
Playing a race that you're not.
Oh, I think it matters because you're just trying to like identify as someone you're not. But it is weird, like you said, like this is their job to be someone they're not.
Yeah, that's exactly what acting is.
Maybe I'm just getting too sensitive, but it's just like, especially maybe now in 2020, it's like, if the character is Asian, but you couldn't find someone Asian to play it well enough, so it's somebody that's white, just change the fucking character name. Like, don't give them an Asian name, and just...
Yeah, the problem, again, if they are adapting it, that's the problem. That's usually the thing. It's like, oh, this movie was with Asian people, but this white person was better casted, or was a big name. But, like, no, I lost it.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, like, when you're playing a different character than who you are, like, it's what you're supposed to. It's what you're supposed to do. Like, how far does this line go? Like, can like a rich
maybe
person
there
not
is
play
no
like
line.
A homeless person, or
maybe there's literally just no line anymore. You know?
Yeah, I think that there shouldn't be a line in that. I think you should be able to play whomever. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The important part, the thing that we want to see, we don't want to see that white people aren't playing Asians. We want to see that Asians are given a fair...
Yes, fair roles, chances.
Yeah, fair chances to the role. So if you were going to choose random people, you didn't just choose white people.
Exactly.
No, you chose every single type of person. And if the white person got it, then the white person got it. That's what we want. That's what we're heading
towards. A fair opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, a fair
just
opportunity.
Just like employment.
Not that
equal opportunity employment.
Yeah. Not that like we want Asian people only playing Asian people and white people only playing white people. It's just that we want
opportunities.
We want everyone to have the same opportunity to the thing.
We want everyone to have the same statistical.
The problem, the problem with this though, and the problem with the argument that I'm posing, is that no, I lost it. The problem is just that just because you have a fair chance, what you might end up doing is you might end up getting used to this white person playing these Asian people, and what we want is we also want fair representation as well in like the media. So by showing an Asian person playing an Asian person in a film, it's very important in a way, because you want Asian children to look up to that Asian person and say, I can do that. Because the problem with this, and the thing that a lot of Caucasian people don't understand, is that if you do not have somebody who looks like you on television, you don't believe that you matter. You stop to kind of, you're just like, true. I guess I'm just not as cool as that person. Like, that's something that I ended up like growing up like instilled into my head, just because like whenever I saw movies and shit like that, it was always like the black people were the gangsters, and like all like the white people were like the beautiful people, the people who were, you know, the cooler people or whatever. So like I had that like brainwashed into me like at a young age, and luckily I completely spun out of it. But that was in high school when I did that. Like I still had that like etched into my brain, into my head when I was growing up. So it's important that although everyone is giving equal chance, we also need on the part of the casters to have an equal bias on the an equal bias on who they're choosing. So not choosing the white person just because, you know, she just happens to be better. You want
a full range of people to audition and see
exactly.
truly who is the best for the part.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, the final question, because that's what we were on, is questions, is what is the significance of showing her hanging onto the tree at the very end?
Ooh, I like that you put that in. I thought it was interesting because you see Tallulah, obviously, the first scene of her is her hanging onto her van and then letting go, and it turns out to be a dream. So I think the significance of her quote-unquote mother-in-law, her boyfriend's mother, ex-boyfriend maybe, hanging onto the tree is that this is now her new lease on life. When she lets go of that tree, she is essentially starting over, like a leaf on a tree. You hold on to the tree for as long as the season lets you, and then when fall comes, you fall off the tree and you essentially are starting over. So it just, to me, represented her starting over her new life. She got bombarded with a new person, aka Tallulah, the main character, in her life that taught her many things, opened her eyes, made her repaint her ex-husband's expensive-ass paintings, and now she's starting over. So just rebranding, born again, starting anew, turning over a new leaf. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, interesting. In my opinion, right, like that it all tied to when they were talking on the picnic, laying down, and the mother-in-law said that she, if that were to happen, that she would just let it go. She would continue forward. And I think that her continuing forward, not trying to hang onto a tree, meant that she didn't feel like she had a place really on Earth, and that like if you were just given the chance to just go somewhere else,
you would
you? And it's just like, yeah, I don't feel like I have a place here. I just want to go. I'd rather go to that nothingness or to that mystery than to stay here. And then her grabbing onto the tree in the end shows that she found her place. And that she held on to the tree just like the main character, which I loved when they did that tree thing at the very end, because it was supposed to mirror the front, which was showing you that the main character still felt like she had a place on Earth, right? Even since the beginning, she was never really lost in that way. She was more lost in, like, you know, where her love was, but she still was grounded enough to want to live. Yeah. Whereas the other person,
that's interesting.
And so then my next question is, would you hang on?
I think I would hang on. You know, if it's not my time to die, it's not my time. So I would hang on to the branch. You know, you still have lots of life to live and explore and find new things that you. Going back to our first conversation about death, like it's not your time, and again finding new hobbies or passions that you're into. So yeah, I would hang on.
Interesting fact. For my answer is that I probably wouldn't.
Of course not.
But for an entirely different reason, and that reason is just if gravity decided to stop just for me, what else changed? And in my head, I would say, if this is happening, would I die up there? And if I wouldn't, and I might actually not end up dying, because if this is broken, if this just broke, gravity broke just for me, then what else is broken? Maybe, you know, having to deal with, like, having my, you know, gravity on my entire body. Maybe I can breathe in space now or something like that. And I think that'd be much cooler to find out than to
just die,
you know,
explode.
Well, no, I'm saying it would be cooler to find out if I was going to explode than it would be to stay on the ground. Because I want to progress. I want to find out new things. And I think that this phenomenon that I've never seen in my life and that goes against all of the laws of physics that I know, like, I want to see further into it. I want to look into that. I don't want to, like, hold onto the tree and possibly lose this moment and lose this ability to maybe see if I can go off into space and maybe travel further.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that answer. Very out there, but okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's you can tell that I thought a lot about it.
You really did, though.
What was happening? I was like, yeah. So yeah, and then the final question is, what was your overall thoughts?
I hated this movie.
What do you think out of 1 out of 5?
I hated it.
Out of 5. You hated it?
I'd say 1. It was so... I tried to watch this movie yesterday. Didn't, because I was like, it's okay. Premise, whatever. I ended up watching it today outside. I think like halfway through, I had to put the movie on like 1.5 speed. And even then, I was like repainting that like wall art thing, so I was kind of listening. Honestly, kind of skipped through some parts. Like, Alex, I hated this movie. I would never watch this ever again. It was like a slow burn, kind of predictable, kind of just like, why did you pick this movie? I hated it so much, so I have to give it like a 1. Yes, a 1 out of 5. I feel like you liked it. I feel like you gave it like a 4.
So going back to the way that I score movies, right?
Yes.
Is that like my scores are very, it's basically like if I were thoroughly entertained and there was nothing glaring about the movie, then I give that movie a perfect score. I don't consider, like, I guess if I ever thought a movie was outstanding, I might give it higher than a perfect score. But I think a perfect score is for a movie that entertains you and that there's nothing just blaringly sticking out. I think that is what a perfect movie is. So in this situation, I think that this was a perfect movie.
Wow.
I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I would absolutely interestingly give it a 5 out of 5. Just because, like, nothing stuck out, everything made sense. When it was awkward, it was supposed to be awkward, and as if it was the real world. I was super into it. I could not take my eyes off it. Now, granted, I was high, so that could be the reason why I was so into it. But I was super into it. I really enjoyed it. I again, that's the reason why I thought so hard about that, like the laying down on the ground. Like, I thought that their problems were so organic. Like, it would not surprise me if this had happened in real life. And like their struggles were so organic, and their responses were so real. Everything made sense. And because of that, because there was nothing like just out there that I just was like didn't like, it's just like, yeah, I just liked everything. I didn't think it was amazing. It wasn't like an outstanding movie. That's the reason why I wouldn't give it bigger than a 5. But I'm not sure if maybe I should consider 4 out of 5 being like, good but not outstanding. Because a lot of people consider a 5 out of 5 as outstanding, like meaning that it's better than like
the average movie.
Perfect.
Yeah,
the average movie, and I would consider a 5 out of 5 is just a good movie. So in the real world, as most people would score it, they would give it a 4 out of 5. I would give it a 5 out of 5, just simply because it entertained me. But for anyone who is wondering, like, oh, if I were Rotten Tomatoes, what score would I would give it?
It'd be like a 30.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
No, it would be a 4 out of 5.
Okay,
like an 80%. Yeah, it was a good movie. I don't know. I couldn't be bored. It was just like the only thing that I could be was cringe. There was a lot of cringe in there.
It was cringe. Definitely cringe. In Rotten Tomatoes, I gave it an 85%. So.
Hey.
I give it a 10%.
A
but that's just
real...
me.
See, Dude, I'm so fucking smart.
Okay, calm down. This movie was a 1 out of 5 for me and a 5 out of 5 for you, but we like different movies, but still, would never watch this ever again.
Well, speaking of we like different movies, did you get another movie for this week, for the next week?
I did, so I picked Stowaway on Netflix. It's a sci-fi movie, or not sci-fi, it's like a space movie. Yeah, so I think that's the name. Let me just make sure I'm looking it up. Yeah, it's called Stowaway on Netflix. It has a good cast, Anna Kendrick, you know, my girl from Pitch Perfect. So yeah, and it was released in it was released in Germany in 2021, so pretty new. In May. In Germany. The fuck? Wait. Okay, anyways, so yeah, it's called Stowaway on Netflix. A 3-person crew on a mission to Mars faces an impossible choice when an unplanned passenger jeopardizes the lives of everyone on board.
Whoa.
Okay, but yeah, so Stowaway, the movie for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes. What's your topic of the week?
My topic, I think, would be I'll make it passions. I think since we kind of started talking about it anyway today, I kind of want to get further into it. Just like
okay,
what different types of passions there are out there. What have I tried to get into? Like maybe hobbies, maybe is a better word.
Hobbies / passions.
Yeah, hobbies and passions. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be my topic for next week.
I like it.
Yep. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to do we have that in our? I don't. Yes, it did. Yeah, we do have it at the end.
Do we?
Is to make sure to subscribe and shit.
Well.
Comment. If you have any comments, if you have any responses, maybe we'll read them out in the next one and answer them.
I don't think we're at that level yet.
Hey, sometimes you have to tell the people.
I guess so.
Sometimes you do. Yeah. We have to pretend.
That's
we
true.
have to
fake it till you make it.
For the job. Yeah, dress for the job that you want.
I like that. Well, keep the conversation rolling with us on Instagram at @letsfing_chat, where I try and keep up with our Instagram and post small clippets of the new episode and post very visually appealing things. Also, too, like Alex said, fucking comment below anything that you liked about this episode, what you didn't like, maybe topic suggestions. And follow Alex. All his socials will be down below. His weird Twitter, Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do this
follow
thing.
Me on Twitter.
If you want to see photos from Alex on Twitter, follow him below.
And absolutely topic ideas. That would be great. Because I'm running out of topic ideas.
Okay.
There's a lot of topics. I just can't. In my brain, my brain likes to have conversations without a topic. So me creating a topic is so fucking hard because I'm just like, I just want to talk about something random and it'll get to somewhere.
That is true though. I mean, we started this episode out talking about death, our ideal death. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining our conversation.
Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.
And we will see you in the next chat.